Hey everybody, I'm Josh.
I'm Andrew.
Garrett.
And I'm David.
This is So Many Sequels you are enjoying right now. We are bringing you a little bit of a bonus episode this time. It's July, and we like to do a little mid-year review this time of year. So we thought we'd throw an extra show your way in the middle of our Star Trek series that we're doing now. So this year's different than most years because not a lot of movies have come out. We got about 2.5 months of theatrical releases at the beginning of the year. I believe it was around mid-March when they started to pull movies. So, and that's notoriously a very slow period anyway. So since then, the new movies that we've gotten have all been streaming. And there's not been a lot. There's been a few, but not a lot. A few big movies were taken from theaters to streaming. The first big one was Trolls World Tour. I don't think any of us watched that.
I didn't get a chance to watch that one yet.
And then, The Lovebirds. We'll definitely be talking about that on this episode. That moved to streaming.
Netflix, I think, specifically, right?
Yes. Yeah. Dave Bautista's My Spy movie.
Yeah.
Moved from theaters to Amazon Prime.
That's right.
I won't name them all, and then just recently, Tom Hanks's Greyhound moved from theaters to Apple TV Plus, and we'll definitely be talking about that movie today.
I thought that was going to be the case.
And then we don't know what's coming for the rest of the year. We have literally no idea what movies will or will not come out.
Yeah,
so,
we just don't have even a good guess.
I figure we can start off kind of going around talking about what our favorite movies of 2020 have been so far, the few that we've gotten to see. Are you all maintaining a 2020 list on Letterboxd by any chance?
I am.
Andrew's eyes tell me he is not.
I have neglected it.
You jerk.
Total
jerk.
You lazy. What else do you really do, Andrew?
We just sit in our homes all day.
You just bake. All you do is bake shortbread, all right, and watch movies. You can't make a list of the movies you've seen this year that happen to be released in this year?
For the record, Josh and I went through everybody's Letterboxd account the other day. And Andrew, I know for a fact that you've reviewed about 500 movies. And I know that you ain't seen 500 movies this year. So what the hell, brother? Why don't you put them in a damn list?
I forget about it. I mean,
you review them all day.
We did. Well, we wanted... So we were looking...
features almost what I do.
We were looking at everybody's Letterboxd to see how each of us rates movies. And for the most part, 3 of us are pretty good at spreading it out. I can't remember how Garrett's worked. Was yours
mine's right in the middle of just about here.
And David and I were pretty close to the middle too. But Andrew is lopsided with 5-star movies. All you do is rate 5-star movies.
You have a bunch of 5
what
stars
is this?
And a handful of 1 to 2 stars.
And then we went through everybody's half-star ratings to see what we've all rated as the worst movies, and it was pretty on par. It was pretty correct.
Yeah,
it's pretty interesting.
It was worth.
It was interesting.
I like to read you guys' review when I get the chance.
I think, I enjoy reading everyone's reviews too. I think that David has reviewed the most movies, followed by me, and then Garrett, and then I think Andrew.
This is Andrew's list. This is an average of the bar. That is an overwhelming amount of 5-star movies.
Look at that giant 5-star
look at that bar
jump. Yeah, when I first got it, I gotta say, I got really into it right away. So I was just reviewing every movie I'd seen in the last 10 years.
This is David's. Pretty well spread out.
Yeah. I try to rate.
Good job with it.
I try to rate every movie I watch, even if I don't review it.
See, Andrew, I have flattened the curve on my list. You, on the other hand, have not flattened
yours
your
is
curve.
Spiking.
Josh is pretty even. Skews a little high, but
says who?
Overall, because you got more bars
nice
on
there
this
for 3 stars.
My highest one is in the
Josh is like 3.5 or 2.5. 3 very difficult to get from Josh.
And then mine is pretty stair-steppy.
I mean, Garrett has barely any 5-star movies. By comparison.
I have 26.
They're all movies he badmouthed on the show.
Now, in fairness, I also don't review every movie I've seen. I typically just
That's
do
true.
the new ones.
Well, and you forget sometimes too.
I do. You guys have you all have like 500 movies. I've got like 200.
Basically,
Except for Andrew. Andrew's got like 12.
If I happen to sit through a movie or the majority of a movie at this stage, I just decide to look it up on Letterboxd and throw up a quick review for it. Like I recently reviewed he's just not that into you.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't like seek out finding that. Nikki was watching it, and so I watched along, and I was like, this might as well happen, and threw up a review on that. I really enjoy using Letterboxd. You can find me at Letterboxd at David Proc SMS.
Oh, look at you with the branding on it.
Wow.
Yeah. If I didn't have it pulled up right now, I wouldn't even remember what the the profile is. But
okay,
I enjoy using Letterboxd.
Yeah, Letterboxd is the best. I really do like it.
Letterboxd is fun.
Y'all need to get a pro account. If you wait till Black Friday, they always have a sale and it's like half off. It's like $12 or $15 for a whole year, I think. But David would really like it because you get access to all these statistics from your account that will break down. Hang on, let me pull mine up and see what some of them are.
Yeah, they keep teasing me with those types of things. They're like, "Hey, upgrade to Pro and see, this."
You would enjoy it for sure. Let me look at my all-time stats here. If it would load. Yeah, it gives me my life in film. 520 films rated. I've watched 420 directors. 420, nice. Movies from 36 countries.
That's probably like
that's good.
The most films I've watched come from the year 2018. But the oldest film I've watched is from, oh my gosh, will it tell me? 1941.
Probably Dumbo.
I don't know what it is. And then it tells me like it'll break down your highest rated movies by each decade.
Ooh.
Your most watched genres. My most watched genre, which surprises me a little bit, is drama. Then comedy, action, breaks that down. Then it's got like all these different lists and tells you how much you've completed. Like Box Office Mojo's all-time 100, I have watched 60% of those movies.
Well, there you go.
I've watched 10% of all the Best Picture winners, and there's all kinds of lists like that.
Cool.
It tells you your most watched movies. And this is not fully accurate because I haven't done a good job, but like I've watched Booksmart 3 times. I've watched Avengers Endgame 3 times. Those are my 2 most watched movies. I've watched 23 Samuel L. Jackson movies.
Hey-o.
8 Christopher Nolan films. There's all kinds of fun stuff like that. I think it's worth it, and it supports the website. It's free. So that's Letterboxd Pro. Let's jump in. I don't really know the best way to do it. Talking about movies that we have seen this year up to this point that we have really enjoyed, or maybe something that we really didn't.
Listen, I'm just going to start it.
Let me ask you guys before you even start, Garrett. Before you even start, let me ask you one thing. Yeah. What is the number count on your movie list?
30.
30? You've seen 30 2020 movies?
I knew it.
I've seen 30 2020 movies.
Wow, mine is
now. In fairness, some of them may have been like, well, I don't have Just Mercy on there, but like I counted Just Mercy because it came out where I could see it. So that would technically be 31 movies that I've seen in 2020.
What about you, Josh? How many movies are on your list?
21.
21. There you go.
Andrew doesn't have a list, so
nope.
Oh, I do. No, I do.
How?
But you just said you haven't been keeping up with it.
I haven't been keeping up with it, but I have.
Well, then it's not a real list, is it?
Tell us what it is. Come on.
It's not updated, but I know it's at least 10.
Cool.
I'm blowing y'all out the water. Now,
I know. I knew that Garrett. I knew Garrett would find a way to still have seen like 40 movies like he did last year. By this point,
yeah. They're not great.
I had scheduled 2 more that I was going to try to watch before today, but I didn't get around to them.
Yeah,
we'll talk about them on my anticipated list.
All right. So what were you going to start with? You said you were going to just jump into it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just going to get it out of the way because I know that 3 of us will agree. I don't know about David. The best movie of the year has been Hamilton. Best movie of the year has been a play that came out in 2014.
Yeah.
Or 2015, whenever it came out.
Well, this
And
recording
it's
is
been the
from
best movie of the
2016.
year. Yeah. It's been the best movie of the year. There's nothing even close to it. And as much as I like my number 2 movie, which is Invisible Man, I don't even acknowledge it when I'm thinking about Hamilton. There's nothing better than Hamilton that has come out in 2020. Frankly, we don't deserve it. 2020 has not been good. We do not deserve this positivity that came out last week as of this recording.
I agree with that.
While I disagree with the placement, it is number 3 on my list. And that was my technicality is like, do you count a recording of a 2016 performance as one of your top 2020 movies?
It was released.
And unfortunately, yes, we do.
It was released in 2020.
It was released in 2020, but it wasn't filmed this year or made this year.
No.
Uh,
But a lot of movies are filmed before they're released.
Yeah, all movies are filmed before they're released.
I know, but like it wasn't into any. You guys know what I mean.
We know, but you're just wrong.
I mean, but this movie could have came out in 2016.
It could have, but it didn't.
Called the 2016 movie. Doesn't matter. It's not even
wanted that
technically a
play to
movie.
run.
It's
If
just a recording of a stage
If people
play.
had access to the movie, then they wouldn't go see
I
the
mean,
play.
honestly, okay, so it's number 3 on my list because it is one of the better things that's been released this year. But we might as well put music videos on if we're going to put Hamilton on.
No.
Hamilton's just basically the same thing as music. It's just a recorded performance. All right. We're going to put concert movies on next. We're going to put Justin Bieber's I Feel Alive on here. I don't know
Why
what the
not?
name of Justin
If they go
movies are.
out in like a movie theater format, I mean, I know this didn't go out.
This didn't go out on movie theater
but it
format.
was going to.
It was going
ain't
to.
cinema.
It was going to. And so if it's,
Next
I
year.
mean, yeah, why not put the Bieber movie on there if you went and saw it in theaters? I don't care. It's a
Nah.
movie. It's a movie.
It's not. It ain't cinema.
It is.
Okay, Scorsese.
I know. Anyway, it
Scorsese
is
would
one of
like it better than the Marvel movies.
it is one of the best things that's come out this year, and it's recaptivated the world. Everybody has a fresh take on Hamilton again, and what else
Some
can we say
people-
about it?
Everybody get.
Oh,
I mean,
Don't challenge us.
We'll talk. This whole podcast will turn into a Hamilton podcast.
everybody can see what everybody was talking about in 2014 now. You know, why is Hamilton the way it is? Like, why is it so revered now? And it will be pretty much forever. And that's and when is it like? When have you ever seen a? Whenever you ever seen a Broadway play with the original cast being broadcast?
Well,
As
that's
in for a movie? I don't know. I can't think of any examples.
See? There you go.
It's very popular. I wonder if this will deter whether or not we'll get an actual filmed Hamilton movie.
I think they
Filmed.
say
I use
that-
the word film loosely.
I think they say it's several years down the line.
Yeah.
Because
In the vein of the In the Heights movie that we're not going to be getting anytime soon.
I don't want. I'm happy with what they gave me, and I don't want anything else.
Yeah, I don't need another one.
Well, Andrew, what's your number 1 movie?
so far in my number 1 movie, I would say Hamilton, but I'm going to go ahead. We watched.
Do not put this as your number 1 movie.
What?
He's gonna let him do it. He's gonna.
We got to be unique.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say Greyhound because.
Oh, you watched Greyhound already?
Yeah.
And I liked Greyhound a lot. I thought it was tense. I thought it was a great war film. I love the fact that Tom Hanks was not only in it but wrote it. But if I had to go with my number 1 right now, I would probably have to pick the Emancipation, the Birds of Prey movie.
Yeah.
For real. And the reason why is because it's a creative film. It's a breakaway from the original. Suicide Squad.
Mm-hmm.
And it's clever. It's funny, and it's exciting. That's what I'm sticking to.
I'm right there with you. I've got Birds of Prey as my number 1 movie so far this year.
Wow.
And mostly just because, part of it is because it is one of the last movies I saw in the theater.
Yeah.
And that has a sort of special nostalgia factor here 6 months later, for some reason. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was fun. It was it was kind of different than what we've seen from a lot of other superhero movies in recent years. And yeah, I don't know. It was just I dug it. So as of right now, it's my number one. Very female heavy list this year for me. And by that I mean female leads and directors. What about you, Josh? Number one, also Hamilton?
My number one movie is Hamilton. My number two movie is The Invisible Man.
Me too.
My third is The Lovebirds.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God! So far, you and I are simpatico.
My fourth is Birds of Prey. And my fifth is Greyhound.
Wow.
So for me, going down that same list, it's Birds of Prey, The Invisible Man, which I just got around to seeing, and it was really good. Hamilton. At number 4, I have Onward, and at number 5, I have Scoob.
Man, we're gonna have to talk about Scoob because I'm in the middle of you and Garrett because Garrett hated that movie. You really liked it, and I thought it was fine. I thought it was
wouldn't say
fun.
I necessarily really liked it.
Well, you did on this spectrum.
Yeah. like I get okay. So it's number 5. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. Like it's not like a glowing review that I even really give it.
Yeah.
Basically, I just liked it more. I just liked it more than the other 5 movies I have on this list.
That's fair. I genuinely can't talk about it because I blocked it. I don't remember any of it. I was bored. I hated it. I would much rather watch the cartoon and the live action before I watch any of this.
Yeah, I mean, the movie peaks like in terms of a Scooby-Doo movie, it peaks at the perfect recreation of the theme song.
Amen.
Yeah.
That was
like
fun.
that's the peak of the movie. From there on, it's just like a completely different movie. Like it's like not really even necessarily about Scooby-Doo and the gang. It's just a completely different thing. And for what that was, I thought that was fine. You know, I thought, generally kids will like this. There's a lot of Hanna-Barbera references thrown in there. There's some neat stuff from here and there. The voice cast is
great,
baffling and good at the same time.
Yes.
Like I'm listening to Mark Wahlberg and going, how is that not Ryan Reynolds? Like it sounds like Ryan Reynolds the whole movie, but then at the end they're like, no, that's Mark Wahlberg. I think the voice cast is for the most part fine. Zac Efron. Who was Daphne? I can't remember now. But the only person who's bad was Will Forte. Like
that's because Matthew Lillard is Shaggy.
He's ruined. Matthew Lillard has ruined Shaggy for everyone. Like if it's not Matthew
they didn't
Lillard
even
or
ask
Casey
him.
Kasem, then you don't have Shaggy.
They didn't even ask him. What a bunch of jerks.
Yeah, and Will Forte didn't do that great a job. Everybody else though fine.
What's really bumming me out is I look at my list of 21 movies is that only 4 of them did I get to see in theater.
Yeah, one on that front, 1, 2, 3 for me.
I'll have to go through and see what I can find. So my list, my top 5 is the first 3 are the same as Josh: Hamilton, Invisible Man, and Lovebirds, and then I have Good Trouble, the John Lewis documentary. Which,
I didn't rank that.
Yeah, it's
so
fantastic.
I have 22. And that bumps me up to 5.
Yeah. So if you're in, I don't know what the plan is for this movie anymore. Here in Tulsa, Circle Cinema was playing it. They're not anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going to come of it. I'm sure it will be released at some point in time. But in this time of political turmoil, one of the things you can do is educate yourself on people who have done a lot of things for this country. And if you don't know much about John Lewis, he is a man that you should know. I mean, I've known who he is for a long time, but I didn't really know how involved he was in the civil rights movement. I mean,
is this guy the guy who's known as the Godfather?
No.
Oh, okay.
Who's that?
This is another guy who's like heavily influential in like civil rights, but mostly from the entertainment industry. Sorry, go ahead, Garrett.
Oh, I know
John Lewis is a congressman from Georgia. He's a representative from Georgia. And he walked with like hand in hand with Martin Luther King. There's a lot of good stories that he tells about that. He was at Selma. He was beaten by the police. He is responsible or partially responsible for several of historical laws that have been passed to help people's lives. It's a really interesting story, and you can really tell that this man, I mean, a lot of people always assume that politicians are just looking out for themselves, and a lot of times they are. John Lewis is a man.
Not all of them.
Not all of them. John Lewis is a man who has never gone beyond House of Representatives, and I believe that he easily could have, but he seems to believe that where he's at is where he can get the most done for the people, and that's what he's done his whole life. And it's a really good documentary that you should watch to educate yourself if you don't know much about him. And he tells a great chicken story too. And then number 5 is Portrait of a Lady on Fire, which is not like, I go back and forth on my lists of, do I rank it by like how good the movie is or how entertained I was by it. Portrait of a Lady on Fire is a phenomenal movie. I wouldn't necessarily say I was entertained by it. I was gripped by it. It's a great story. It's a great love story. It's French. I believe it's French.
Yep.
But I was more entertained by Birds of Prey, which is next, and Greyhound, which is after that. But overall quality of movie, I don't think that those are better movies than Portrait of a Lady on Fire. So it's always kind of weird for me how I rank it. It really just kind of depends on that movie at that point in time when I'm putting it on the list. But my top 8, 7 are really close to each other. Well, except for Hamilton. That's just way up there.
Yeah, you have to find that blend of entertaining versus like just quality, because like, you know, in terms of like quality, you know, we last year we all could have put like 1917 towards the top, but I don't think it's any of our top movie of last year.
It might be Andrew's. There's a
It's
good
in
chance
mine.
it's Andrew's.
Yeah, it's definitely in my top 5 from last year.
Well, but is it your top one?
No.
It's my number 4.
What Andrew? What else comes in your? What else is in your top 5?
Obviously, The Invisible Man. We watched The Invisible Man the other night, and it was amazing. I
agree.
Blumhouse movies are movies to treasure. Like
Some of them, not all of them, but a lot of them are.
Well, but no. Like my thing is that like Blumhouse movies are just like, they're entertaining. They're revamping horror. You can't look away from Blumhouse movies, and I really enjoy what they're doing. They're bringing horror back. They're bringing horror films, the horror genre, back into the mainstream, because for years it was just mainly like slasher picks.
A24 would like a word with you.
I mean, A24 takes the cake as well, but like, no, I would really, I like The Invisible Man. I loved Greyhound. I loved Hamilton. I can't get my mind across Hamilton. It is so damn good. So fucking good.
Oh, dropping it.
I don't give a
shit. If anyone says one more, we're rated R.
I will keep it to a PG-13.
Andrew dropped our one and only F-bomb in the first 20 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
So good.
Yeah.
You guys want to go from the bottom up now?
Yeah, I've only got 5 left, so I can just knock mine out and then let you guys take over.
I was gonna say, based on the ranked choice voting, that how the Oscars work, I believe Invisible Man would end up being our Best Picture winner. Even though we didn't all pick it as number 1, it's high enough. I think that would be the one that won.
And I would honestly be content with that, because it's well made, it's fun and scary and thrilling, and not like it's a horror movie. I think is what you're trying to say, Andrew. That wasn't like hokey at all. Like it was,
and it could have been.
It felt like everybody took it pretty seriously, and like it's the first time in like a long time that like The Invisible Man has been like I think used in a way that would actually be scary.
Yeah.
So
it made
sense.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say performances were good and everything.
It just, I know the Invisible Man story has been around for a while, because I know there was a really bad rendition. There's a really bad rendition of The Invisible Man in somewhere in the mid '90s.
What, Hollow Man?
So what?
Hollow Man?
No,
That's
no,
what
no,
I
no,
always
no.
think of. It's basically the same thing.
is called Memoirs of an Invisible Man, and it stars Chevy Chase. It's actually a John Carpenter movie. But like
everything you're saying is disgusting.
That sentence got weirder and weirder the farther it went.
Yeah,
Yep.
I didn't like where that landed.
Yeah, well, I didn't like where that movie landed. So there.
So there.
Yeah.
That
So
big book of so there's.
Good comeback.
But no, like I'm glad they did something with it, and I'm kind of glad they did the source material justice.
I've said this before, and I'll say it again. The best Invisible Man movie before this one was the Abbott and Costello version.
Yeah.
And that's not
I don't know.
a
Hollow
scary
Man's
movie.
fun. You guys don't have fun with Hollow Man? That's a fun
Hollow
Invisible
Man.
Man story.
I just remember the infrared naked Kevin Bacon with his junk flying around. That was uncomfortable.
I know. Like that. It's the Tremors of Invisible Man movies.
That's an insult to Tremors.
Hey, yeah, I know.
Because I love Tremors so much.
I love Tremors too. Tremors is terrific.
Okay.
Here, let me give you my bottom five
Yes,
here
please
real
do.
quick, and then
Please
everybody
do.
else can go through their bottom lists that are much longer than mine. So at number 6 for me, I have this movie called Stargirl. Came out on Disney Plus, based on a I don't know if young adult's the right word, but young adult book. Just behind that, so we go from Stargirl to Horse Girl. Garrett and I talked about this movie during our one of our earlier podcasts from this year. It's a very weird movie. It's not necessarily bad. It's just a little too weird to be really like. I wouldn't say I was entertained or found it to be overly.
Yeah, that was a tough one. I watched it on a plane, so it gets like negative marks just because I was on a plane.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it. I wouldn't watch it again, I don't think, but I enjoyed it the one viewing I had.
I will say Molly Shannon's really good in it, and that's not like a joke. At number 8, I have Sonic the Hedgehog.
You like Scoob better than Sonic the Hedgehog?
I like what now?
You like Scoob better than Sonic the Hedgehog?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Sonic the Hedgehog was straight trash. And that's,
dead silence from the crowd.
I mean, I'm sorry.
We all liked.
Look,
Sonic's
the thing about Sonic I'm gonna say this right now. The thing about Sonic the Hedgehog is that the thing that we all roasted that first trailer for, which were the visual effects, are the only good thing about that movie. It is otherwise the most paint by numbers movie I've ever seen. Like I honestly think Andrew could have written that movie.
Andrew writes things.
I don't know if that felt like an insult.
I know it was. I'm sorry. I was gonna say we could have written that movie, but I feel like honestly we could have written that movie. We're good. We all work pretty good together. But like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just not good. Anyway,
All
just
right,
below that, but tied in terms of star numbers, is Eurovision Song Contest Story of Fire Saga.
Oh yeah,
that movie.
You're the only one that's seen that.
I hope I am. I hope I'm the only one that's seen it in the world.
Okay, so here's
my chance to warn everyone.
Because I read your review of it on Letterboxd, and you talked about the Will Ferrell man-child universe, which made me laugh because I know that I'm in the minority here. I only like Anchorman and Step Brothers as far as like Will Ferrell movie goes. Whenever he's being goofy, I do not like Talladega Nights.
Yeah.
I do not like the ice skating one. I do not like Jackie Moon. I do not like any of those movies. I think they're terrible. And
I can't believe what I'm hearing.
They're awful.
And
they're not.
Garrett, here's what I'm going to tell you. You could ask this same question of 100 people, and all of them will give you a different which ones they actually like answer. There is no consensus on which one of these same movie that Will Ferrell keeps making is the best one. Some people like Anchorman. Some people like Talladega Nights. Some people like Semi-Pro. Some people just go crazy about Blades of Glory. This movie is Blades of Glory, but with Rachel McAdams instead of John Heder. It's just here's what they do. Will Ferrell goes into his meetings, right, with a bunch of people who are pitching movies. He goes, "All right, fellas, what should I do this time? What man-child occupation should I have?" And they go, "You haven't done singer yet." "Oh, that's good. I'll be a singer." And then he leaves, and then they just make the same thing where he's like a man who never grew up. How long can he keep? Like, are we gonna watch Will Ferrell be like 65 years old and be living with his 85-year-old parents played inexplicably by someone the same age as him for the rest of our lives?
Probably.
Yes, because
Well-
we do the same exact thing with Jim Carrey and Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler. I'm tired of all of it.
Let's not forget Rob Schneider.
Everybody forgets Rob Schneider.
I don't even think
Go
Rob
away.
Schneider has anyway. I'm just going to tell you guys, this is not the worst Will Ferrell movie that's ever been made, but it is remarkably uninspired in places.
All right.
I will say this. The last song, and I said this in my review, is really, really good. Like they're in the song competition. They go through it with the same song for like the first 2.5 hours of the movie, but they sneak in a new song as their grand finale song, and it's pretty good. Other than that, I'd pass. And then number 10, I have Artemis Fowl. I watched
haven't
this
gotten
just
that one
yesterday.
yet.
This is a super dull movie.
Bummer.
They want it to be James Bond meets Harry Potter, and unfortunately, it is Spy Kids meets Harry Potter. I don't know.
The trash.
It's like it's just woefully dull.
Well, that movie was in development hell for a very, very, very long time.
Yeah.
That book is very old by film or book to movie standards. I remember that book being a thing when I was in middle school.
Yeah, the director said that half the stuff he came up with as like high-tech sci-fi gadgets have already been outpaced by modern technology. So like they had to
Exactly.
make up new versions of all the stuff he came up with.
The first Artemis Fowl book was released in 2001. So yeah, I was in 6th grade.
Yeah.
So it took them 19 years to make a movie based on this kid's book that I believe was like semi-popular.
Yeah. If you're a big fan of Irish accents, then you'll like this movie. Otherwise, there's not a lot to look forward to. But that's my bottom 5. Go ahead, guys.
Well, how about Andrew goes next because his list isn't complete anyway.
Okay. So I'm only gonna say 2 films
Okay.
that I really didn't like.
Okay.
One of them was Bad Boys for Life.
What?
Bad
didn't
Boys,
care-
Bad
Everybody loved that movie.
The
I
highest
did not
grossing
like that
movie
movie.
of the year, bro.
That's
I
right.
did not like it. Did not like it. I thought it was
It insists
you see
on
it?
itself.
In theaters?
Yeah.
Lucky
Yeah.
you.
I wanted to like this movie, and I feel like if you're a director and you have directed 2 films of the same franchise, and there's a 3rd one coming out, chances are you should be attached to that. Like that's, I would personally like to say, just write it out, because when you look at trilogies in the past, like the first 3 movies were the Indiana Jones for Steven Spielberg. The first 2 movies, hang on, the Lord of the Rings movies are all Peter Jackson.
Right.
So you're getting it all from one mind.
You think you need consistency.
You need consistency, and most of the Transformer movies were by Michael Bay.
Right.
Michael Bay
Sucks.
sucks, but I will say that he is entertaining.
What are we talking about anymore?
I don't know.
Andrew,
I thought we were talking about Bad Boys for
Andrew
Life.
thinks that even though Michael Bay is not a director he appreciates or likes necessarily, he should be allowed to have full reign of the Bad Boys universe and bring it to a
Yes.
close, even though he
And-
clearly lost interest in it.
Yeah, and the thing is that when it comes to Bad Boys, I feel like that
What
should
you
be
gonna
a
do?
little- What?
Yeah, you ruined my joke.
Just go.
You
Keep
said
going.
when it comes
Keep
to
going.
Bad Boys, and I just went, what you gonna do?
Andrew,
That's what you do when it comes to Bad Boys.
Andrew, really quickly though, you gave us
You're
gave
gonna
us
try and
examples
change them and make them good because that's what they really want.
But like,
of, Andrew, go ahead.
yes.
Somebody go ahead.
When you
Okay,
gave us
all right.
examples, you gave us examples of when a director is able to see it all the way through the trilogy. What are some examples of where they didn't and the 3rd movie was bad?
Bad Boys for Life, obviously, but I would say Jurassic Park,
Okay.
because the first 2 movies were, the first one's great, second one is bleh, and the 3rd one is bad. The 3rd one is absolutely terrible. And
I don't know about absolutely terrible, but yeah.
with Bad Boys for Life, the one thing we get from Michael Bay is a cameo. He has a cameo.
Whoa,
he has a
that's
cameo,
exciting.
and it's weird. Like he just shows up, and for whatever reason, he has no relevance to any plot whatsoever. The second movie I would say that's on my list, it's on the bottom of my list, would be Guy Ritchie's The Gentleman.
Yeah,
I
that
didn't
movie's
see
trash.
this one.
It's trash.
And
Don't.
I just
Is this the one
remember
with Matthew McConaughey?
Yeah.
Yeah, Matthew McConaughey. There's a lot of people in it.
It was bad. They did a bad job.
It was not good. It was confusing. I really liked Guy Ritchie back in the day whenever he did Snatch and Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Gun Barrels, and even the two Sherlock Holmes movies.
Yeah.
And I feel like this was like a welcome back to original material, and it just wasn't. It sucked. It really did suck. It was all over the place.
It was really bad.
Couldn't follow it.
I followed it. I followed it bad. It was just bad. It was bad. It sucked.
None of the rest of us didn't see Bad Boys for Life, but I gotta challenge you on one thing anyway, because you're the only person I've ever heard say it was bad.
Yeah.
And I had to double check, and I only have Rotten Tomatoes to go on right now because that's what I have accessible. But Bad Boys for Life is the only Bad Boys movie with a fresh score on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
Bad Boys 1 is a 43%. Bad Boys 2 is 23%. And Bad Boys for Life is 77%.
Man, I thought that the first Bad Boys movie was fairly well liked.
I thought it was too.
What do the audience have to say? Just out of curiosity.
I was reading them from Wikipedia.
Oh,
I can say that.
It's a 3.1 on Letterboxd.
Metacritic goes the same way. 41, 38, 59. And CinemaScore, all movies got an A. Which is the closest thing I have to audience score right now. Okay. Audiences love them all. But they really loved Bad Boys for Life.
Wow.
But I just had to issue a little bit of a challenge because none of the rest of us could speak for it. But I had a feeling that it was well received.
Yeah, 3.1 on Letterboxd for Bad Boys for Life.
Yeah, I can't.
That's pretty good.
Find it.
All right.
Stars.
I'll go next.
Yeah, what do you got right? We'll go on towards the bottom of your list, Josh.
I closed my list. Hang on, give me a second. Here it is. Okay. So I'll do my worst 5 starting on the good side. And because the list is so small, this doesn't necessarily mean they were all bad.
Yeah.
Extraction, starring Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to see this one yet.
I gave that a 3-star review. In hindsight, I think I might lower it to 2.5 or so. But it was fine. It's pretty forgettable, honestly, and it dragged a bit. The action was really good. Like, the action was really good.
Yes.
Especially for the type of Netflix film that we've become used to. The bar is pretty low for Netflix originals still yet. They have some good ones, but the overall bar is still pretty low. So I thought that was fine. I don't know if anyone else has a comment.
Is that your lowest ranked 3-star movie, or is that your?
No. The one after that is my lowest ranked 3-star movie.
Extraction is in my top 10.
Really? Well, to be fair, it's in my top 20.
Well, that's yeah. No, I enjoyed Extraction a lot. There is a moment in the middle where it does drag on, but I don't think it was enough to put it down there that low for me and think it was forgettable. I really enjoyed it, and who knows what they're going to do, but I would be cool with that being like the John Wick of the Netflix franchise. If they keep them good, let me clarify. Like, I was entertained, I was enthralled, I liked the story. I mean, it's not like a knockdown, drag out, amazing story or anything. But the action was really good. No, it was not. Well, there's a part in the middle where it does wane, but then it picks up after that. So if you can get through that little hump, then you're good, in my opinion.
Next on my list is a 2020 movie that went from theaters to on demand, which is called Becky.
Right.
Starring Kevin James as a murderous escaped convict.
Nazi.
Nazi. Joel McHale as a doting father, single father.
Wow.
And a little girl, well, not super little. She's like a young teenager
Like
who
12 or
is
13, yeah.
Foil for Kevin James's evil escaped convict. It's bizarre. I mean, it is a thriller type movie where you have two people known for their comic roles in serious roles. And we know that a lot of comedians can make that leap to drama. And I'll say that, like, Joel McHale is he's not like a massive part of the movie, so you really don't get to see him shine or anything. Not like he typically does anyway these days. But Kevin James was it's just weird to watch. Because sometimes it worked and I was like, oh, he kind of scary. And sometimes it really didn't.
Yeah.
So that movie was weird. But that's my lowest 3-star movie because I did have fun with it. It was a really fun, stupid movie.
Yep.
Just because it's like hardcore Home Alone.
But it just also came out of nowhere too.
Mhm.
Like I don't remember.
Yeah. It wasn't really promoted or anything.
It was just like, here's a trailer and it's out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kevin James in and out as a Nazi worked. Joel McHale, not once believable as a loving, caring father. He's not. Joel McHale is a sarcastic jerk, and to watch him try to play a genuine, loving, caring character was not believable.
So this was his second best performance of the year behind interviewing the cast of Tiger King.
Yeah.
I can't say that because I never saw it. Don't want to watch it. I'd rather watch Becky again.
Next on my list, though, is Fantasy Island, a Blumhouse film. One of the last movies I saw in theaters. It's Michael Pena's in it. Michael Rooker.
These kind of movies always have good casts. Yeah.
Where's the Lucy Hale? Yes, Lucy Hale. So it's got some names in it, and it was, it's a horror remake of the old television show. And it was fun to watch in the theaters. It's not perfect. It's not even very good. I struggled with it a lot because I was like, wow, I enjoyed myself, but that was real bad. But like I had fun, but it was terrible. That's always a weird thing to deal with. If it ever ends up streaming somewhere, I'd recommend it. I don't think anyone should drop $20 on it.
Yeah,
those were back in the days when I had AMC A-list and I could just go to a movie.
Yeah, it's on my watch list still.
It's worth it on a slow night when you don't have to pay for it.
I feel like it'll be streaming here before long.
I agree.
What is it again? Sorry.
Fantasy Island.
Fantasy Island, that's right.
Next is the only sequel on my list this year. To All the Boys, P.S. I Still Love You.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because the first one is a good example of a Netflix rom-com, and the second one is so frustrating because every character is kind of a jerk.
Yeah.
I don't even have much else to say about it. And then finally, my worst movie of 2020 so far is a Netflix original movie called The Wrong Missy.
Oh, yeah.
Starring David Spade and Lauren Lapkus.
David Spade is a straight man.
That's what I was going to say, in which David Spade plays the straight man.
What is he in the movie?
Wah, wah, wah.
And Lauren Lapkus plays the comedic fodder. And she's quite good. She's very funny. She's a very funny actress if you haven't seen her before. She's pretty funny in this movie, but it's a really stupid movie.
Mm-hmm.
Really stupid.
I mean, I think
it has the telltale sign of a stupid movie too, because it's got Nick Swartz in it.
Yeah.
I think
telltale sign of a bad movie.
You could have seen this. You could have seen the trailer for this and went, "Well, that's carving out a spot at the bottom of my list already."
Exactly.
Yeah.
I hope that. Well, yeah. I hope I see something. It's weird to say that I hope I see something worse this year. Just because.
Yeah. No. I think that's fine because you're like.
I don't even know if it's bad enough to be deserving of the bottom.
It feels
of the
cliche
list.
to put it at the bottom.
It does. I need something more shockingly bad. And that's my worst movies list.
Garrett, you have the most extensive list among us. Some of these movies we may
right.
not even have seen yet.
No. 2 of them have already been said. So I'll start with 26. Scoob. Just not worth it. It's just bad. Like it was just bad. Like I was not entertained. Yeah. I didn't enjoy myself. It was just not worth my time. The Gentleman, same exact thing. It was awful. Don't watch it. Then we have a movie called The Main Event, which is a Netflix original movie.
Right. I was gonna watch this.
It's basically like Spider-Man, but WWE.
I thought it was more like Mike, but WWE.
Yeah, I mean, that works. I just meant that he finds a mask and becomes a superhero, essentially. Yeah. He gets like superpowers, and it's dumb.
He fights Otis.
I mean, in fairness, it's a child's movie. It's a kid's movie, so I get it, but like it's bad. Another one is a horror movie called The Turning, which I had high hopes for.
The Turning.
It has, I don't remember her name. She was in the most recent Terminator. But I can't remember her name. Mackenzie Davis. She's in a lot of movies that I really like, and this is kind of her first opportunity. She was in Tully. She was the nanny in Tully. She's been in a lot of movies. You just may not recognize her name, but you would recognize her if you saw her. This was kind of her first opportunity to be a starring role, and she was fine. The movie was just not very good.
This is another movie with Finn Wolfhard, huh?
Yep. Where he's just a creepy, weird kid.
Yeah.
We should get more. He seems to be typecast into the creepy, weird movies.
Yep.
It's not very good.
Didn't even get him in Ghostbusters this year yet.
Nope, we didn't get to see him steal someone else's childhood.
No. And then my least favorite movie is another Netflix original movie called The Last Thing He Wanted.
Yeah, I remember you talking about this.
Is awful. It's another movie that I watched on a plane, but it was bad, even with it being on a plane. Anne Hathaway, Ben Affleck. She's some kind of journalist and gets messed up in the cartel, and they're chasing it out. It's bad enough to where I don't even remember it. Just don't waste your time on it. It's bad. It's real bad. That's the worst.
All right.
Well, there you go.
There we go. What else do we have to talk about, dudes?
I can talk about some like surprises.
Okay.
And
Let's
I think
give that a shot.
I think you can agree. I don't know if anybody else has seen it. I think for me, the 2 biggest surprises that I had this year were Downhill and Vivarium.
Yeah, those were surprisingly good.
Andrew, Josh, Andrew, David, have either one of you seen or heard of those two?
I was at your apartment whenever we watched this.
For Vivarium, I couldn't remember if you were there or not.
Yeah, I was there.
I have heard of both of them. I watched the trailer for Vivarium, and it looked creepy. It looked interesting.
Creepy's a good word to describe
Downhill, I haven't really watched much of. I know that it's on my watch list that I'm looking at right here, and it's, I think, available for streaming, so it's one of the ones I'm going to try to knock out.
This is the Will Ferrell movie that I like. It looks like it. I mean, it's got Will Ferrell. Oh my gosh, I've gone blank on her. Julia Louis-Dreyfus. And you'd see that and you'd think, oh, that's going to be funny. And it's not funny. It's more of it's like I guess a dark comedy. It's very entertaining. It's about a family that's kind of going through some struggles, and they're on this family vacation in Colorado. I think it's Colorado, somewhere where they're skiing. And, they could have had this fun family vacation, but Will Ferrell is like doing whatever he can to make it really difficult because he's struggling with the death of his father. It's just this really interesting story that I enjoyed. And then Vivarium is a horror movie with Jesse Eisenberg where they get trapped in this Stepford Wives-like home, but there's nobody there. They can't leave. They can't find a way out. And then a baby shows up on their doorstep. And they have to raise this creepy alien kid. So yeah. It was an interesting watch. I was surprised.
Reminded me of that episode of SpongeBob where Squidward goes to live in a place where everybody has the exact same Squidward-like house and everybody acts like Squidward and everybody talks like Squidward.
Yep.
It's like that. Yep. Eventually, they go crazy.
Mm-hmm. I would say that those two are my biggest
All the houses are
surprises.
Green. Yeah. I have no surprises.
I don't think I have any others either. No, nope,
Nope.
not on this list.
Honestly, what surprises me most of the time is how little I actually have to look forward to.
That was going to be my next thing. Is like, is there anything that's out or coming out, whether it's streaming or holding out hope that movies show up that you're looking forward to? I mean, that's really the only other thing that we have. It's like, what are things that you haven't had a chance to see that you want to see, and whether it's streaming or movie theaters?
Things that I can see are like Downhill and My Spy and maybe Trolls World Tour. Those are like the things that are out right now that I can see. I have a few. Like the one thing that I want to see this year is I just want to see Tenet, man.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, there's about a million movies I'm excited for. I just don't think I know when they'll ever come out.
Sure.
If y'all remember and go back to our 2020 preview, this year was stacked.
It was
high with great movies.
Yeah.
And
Great
now we don't have any. We didn't get to any of the ones that I was really looking forward to. Not
Artemis Fowl should not be in a top 10 list anywhere. But unfortunately, it is.
Yep.
I want to go ahead, Andrew. I'm going to talk about it also. Go ahead.
The only thing I was going to say was that the thing that really surprises me is, and I don't know if they're considered movies here, but there were 2 documentaries that came out this year. And one of them was ESPN's The Last Dance.
Yeah.
And I'm not a basketball fan, but oh my God, was I enthralled. That was just there's 10 episodes. From the beginning of the first episode to the ending of the last episode, I was completely glued.
Yeah, I want to check that out.
Yeah. And the other thing is it's on Netflix right now. It's the Garth Brooks A&E documentary.
Mm-hmm.
I can't vouch for that enough because it's such. I wish that A&E would probably do more on more artists, like, because Garth Brooks. If they start with Garth Brooks, you're doing great, because my God, like, the man's passion for music really emulates what he's doing on stage.
Yeah.
And if you have, I mean, if you've been in the good fortune to ever see a Garth Brooks concert, that's like maybe scratching the surface of how passionate that man is about music and how down to earth he really is. And that documentary shows it in full.
Yeah, I started that. Haven't been able to finish it yet.
I haven't seen it yet either.
I would highly recommend it.
And I listened to his Sirius XM channel where he gets on there every now and then and she goes, "Man, I tell you, growing up as a young kid in Oklahoma, there wasn't nothing better. Mr. James Taylor." And
just like he cries, right?
Yeah, and then he starts playing Man Against Machine.
He does cry a lot in this, and yeah, he does speak in that.
He's a crier.
Yeah, I mean, in that half whispered narration.
I knew when James Taylor started playing that my dad was going to stop beating me. Whatever it is, I don't know.
No, I don't think his dad beat him.
No, but he always talks about it was real tense in my house. Things were always on edge.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching that whenever I get a chance.
We didn't talk about the other big documentary, which is Tiger King, really.
Well, we're not a TV podcast.
That's true.
I'll let the Garth thing slide because that's like a movie. Last Dance is questionable.
Not a movie.
I mean, I just brought it up because it's been one of the best things I've watched all year.
I while you were talking about that, I pulled up a list of delayed movies just to kind of see what I am still looking forward to. And this may not include everything, but very quickly I'll just list off ones. A Quiet Place Part 2 is a movie that I think a lot of people forgot it was going to exist.
Mm-hmm.
Black Widow.
Mm-hmm.
Candyman. Escape Room 2.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
The Eternals. Fast 9. Ghostbusters.
I'm going to boot it hard.
Halloween Kills has been moved a full year to October 2021.
This is killing me.
In the Heights.
In the Heights.
Mulan.
Yeah, I'm not in. I'm just now to the M's.
Oh, right.
Yeah, Mulan. I have a morbid curiosity in the New Mutants. Soul, Tenet,
No Time to Die.
Top Gun, No Time to Die. Yeah. Wonder Woman. It's just a quick list. There's a ton of movies I'm still looking forward to. All of those were supposed to come out this year. Some are still supposed to.
Yeah.
There
are 3.5. There are 3.5 movies. Like, I have to change my scale on what looking forward to means in 2020. Normally, these are movies that I would see, but I wouldn't be, quote unquote, looking forward to them, except for maybe one. Of the movies that are out that I know that you can either rent or find on streaming, there are 4 that I really want to see. The King of Staten Island, which is the Pete Davidson movie. I don't really know a ton about it other than it's Pete Davidson. I think he wrote it.
It's Judd Apatow.
Oh, it was Judd? Well,
I don't know who wrote it exactly, but I know it's a Judd Apatow directed it, I think.
So you put those 2 together, and that is something that I'm definitely interested in. I want to see Palm Springs, which is just come out. I heard it was very funny. I got an endorsement from our friend Daniel. I got an endorsement from his wife. She told me that let me find it here. I don't want to mess up her quote. It's just what the world needed right now. Super cute, funny, and lighthearted. So it's a nice little.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but glowing reviews about Palm Springs. It has a 3.9 on Letterboxd.
So that just came out. My Spy is another one that I'm interested in. The High Note has my attention. I'm intrigued by that. But the one that I really want to see is Da 5 Bloods. I still haven't seen that. Andrew, I know you saw it.
Oh,
yeah. It's on my list too.
I liked it. I thought it was an interesting take on that Spike Lee would do on Vietnam. Anything that Spike Lee does right now is really interesting. I've always thought that. And this movie it's long. I will say it's very long. So,
it's like 3.5.
No, it's not even 3.
But I thought it was 3.
No, it's pretty close to 3 hours, but it just gets insane.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the last hour of that movie gets really insane. It gets pretty predictable up until that time, and then you just don't know what's going to happen.
So it's a Spike Lee movie.
Yeah. One more movie that actually is coming out here in the next month is another Disney Plus. I guess I'll say original. I don't know if this was ever intended for theaters, but it's called The One and Only Ivan, and it's about a gorilla that's abducted and goes to the circus and tries to break out.
A gorilla that was abducted?
Yeah, taken by like poachers and sold into the circus and things like that. And it's a talking animal movie. It's probably it's a little bit aimed more for kids, but it looks like it's got Bryan Cranston. It looks like it's pretty.
It's got a great cast.
Okay.
So it's live action / animation. Bryan Cranston is a real life person, and the voice cast includes Sam Rockwell, Angelina Jolie, Danny DeVito, Helen Mirren, Ron Funches, Philippa Sue, who is Eliza in Hamilton, and Octavia Spencer.
Yeah. So check out the trailer. I mean, it does look like it's mostly marketed towards kids, but it looks like it's not the worst thing that I'll see this year.
And yes, this movie was originally intended for a theatrical release, but Disney decided to put it on Disney Plus instead.
Yep. And that's scheduled for I think an August release.
Yep. It was set for theaters August 14th, and now it will be released on Disney Plus August 21st.
Cool.
That's about it for me in terms of like what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I can't think of any that hasn't already been said that is like already out that I haven't gotten to yet.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've enjoyed parts of this year, but not really enjoyed very much of it. I can't wait till the day to get back to a theater.
Yeah, I enjoyed every bit of this year until like March 11th. Then I didn't have fun no more. I had fun since.
No, the most fun I've had is going back and watching old stuff at this point, and that's why I've kind of I've enjoyed what we've done this year. We've done Lord of the Rings, The Matrix, Men in Black. I've had a lot of fun going back to the early 2000s for the most part.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. Do you guys have favorites of what we've done?
No.
I mean, we did what were the last two that we did? So we did Star Trek and what was before Star Trek?
I got that list right here.
I can't remember. They all run together.
They really
before
do all
Star
run
Trek,
together.
we did the Matrix, I believe.
Yeah.
No, we did Cloverfield.
Cloverfield.
I would say
Cloverfield.
that either Cloverfield, Return of the King, pretty much the first movie in all of them, except for
Honestly,
Return of the King.
I have not really enjoyed any episodes this year.
Wow, way to throw us under
Our
the bus.
recordings
I'm
of
sorry.
the movies you watched.
Both. Well, I'm looking back at it, and I had already seen every movie we've covered, so none of them were new for me.
Yeah.
Every series led to some sort of disappointment for me. Lord of the Rings, I already don't really like. Sorry, Andrew. Men in Black went downhill in Men in Black 2 and 4.
And 4.
The Matrix went downhill, Cloverfield went downhill, and Star Trek went downhill.
Oh.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, the
So-
first movie in each, I think we all liked. Like, we were all like, yeah, The Matrix,
That's probably
that was good.
fair.
And then we were like, oh, Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, that was pretty good. And then we were like, Star Trek Generations, this is all right. Cloverfield, this is fantastic.
Hopefully, our audience is still with us.
Yeah, if you you guys just stick with us. We've got good stuff somewhere.
Look,
It's gonna
for
happen.
real,
I'm
like-
telling you.
It's gonna happen.
Like
We have
You
to
know,
find-
we
we have to find the fun.
Yeah.
were supposed to do Lego Movie at one point in time, but
Andrew.
What happened there?
Yeah, what happened there, Andrew?
what happened there?
Andrew.
This
Well, we got
year
spoiled
could have
last
started
year.
off with James Bond.
Last year we got spoiled. I'll tell you why. Because we hit a stride last year. We found a nice balance of picking movies and incorporating new ones. And I think that incorporating new ones really helped. And now we can't do that. I mean, unless you
That's
want to
true.
do the kissing booth, which I don't think is going to get a lot of watches.
No,
Hey.
our most popular episodes were toward the end of last year.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Deep Blue Sea 3 is coming out this year, too.
Oh man.
We
I
really
didn't even know
did
there
get
was a Deep
spoiled
Blue
last
Sea
year.
2.
Indiana Jones, Hannibal, Avengers, Ninth Museum, John Wick, Toy Story, Superman, It, Clerks, Happy Death Day, Zombieland, Guardians of the Galaxy, and then we went straight into Christmas and then wrapped up with Star Wars.
Yep.
Last season was great, and this season is, well, let's be real. it's
Even-
bad.
The thing is, even the movies we didn't like last year, we had a lot of fun with, like the Superman franchise, the Clerks franchise. We had tons of fun talking about those. We hit a real stride at the end of last year just doing movies with just 2.
Mhm.
It was like Guardians of the Galaxy, Clerks, Zombieland. There was another one Josh just
Happy
mentioned.
Death
It was
Day.
like just a bunch of two movie
Yeah.
franchises. It was really like in and out.
Maybe we need to. I feel like now we're having a production meeting during a bonus episode. That's fine. Whatever.
See how the
Yeah.
sausage gets made.
Yeah, maybe we need to try to mimic that second season somehow. Recreate that magic in some way.
That all depends on the sequel.
Well, maybe it shouldn't. Maybe we should not use it
Well-
all the time.
The sequel only exists whenever we don't have new movies.
Yeah, there's nothing coming out right now. There's not even a sequel like on the horizon coming out anytime soon.
Because Garrett watches it, but y'all ever watch the game show called The Wall?
Where they had to get
Yes.
through the
It's like
the
Extreme
holes.
Plinko.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, the point I'm getting at is this season of The Wall has been rife with horrible luck, and I feel like the sequel is our wall, and we're always losing all of our money every time we spin it. That's what I,
don't
feel
know.
like.
I enjoyed Cloverfield and 10 Cloverfield Lane, and I
Yeah.
was really and I enjoyed talking about Star Trek. So, yeah.
I wish I enjoyed watching Star Trek as much as I remembered.
I enjoyed talking about the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I
you
enjoyed
won.
Lord of the Rings too.
Nah, you're lying.
I'll die on that hill.
You're lying.
That was
I
fun.
loved it.
That was fun. I guess do Smeagol impressions
Oh,
at
you know
least
what?
3 weeks in a row.
Let me talk about something. I didn't even tell most of y'all this. I did a guest appearance on another podcast recently.
Yeah, you did.
Um,
You didn't tell us nothing about that.
I didn't tell y'all.
You just let me find out by seeing we got tagged in Instagram story.
So a friend of mine named Ben has a podcast called The Bracketologist that takes like a March Madness style bracket with a bunch of every episode's about something new. Like he's done episodes about ice cream flavors.
Yeah, I saw one about like
cleaning supplies, like anything. And every episode he has a guest on to be an expert in the field. And so I joined him to talk about our favorite movie trilogies.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have I threw my bracket away. I don't want to spoil what we ended up on because I want people to listen to it. I'll tell y'all off mic if you want to know.
Yeah.
But
I started listening to it, but I didn't get to finish it yet.
He seeds all the movies he used a variety of tactics from Rotten Tomatoes scores to which franchises are like actual true trilogies. For example, he's got Pirates of the Caribbean on here, not technically a trilogy, but he focused on the first 3 movies as a complete story.
Yeah, no, things like Toy Story on there too.
Toy Story is the same way, and that is an example of one where Toy Story existed as a trilogy for longer than before the 4th one came out.
Quadrilogy.
Right. So we went through a first round, second round, all the way to claim a champion of the best movie trilogy of all time, and we were both surprised at what we ended up with.
You want to? I was gonna say you could give the top 4. That's not giving it away, but if you don't have your paper.
No, but I think I probably remember. So the final 4 for our bracket, it was the original Star Wars trilogy, Toy Story, Back to the Future, and Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
we've done all those. We've done all those, so I felt like I was the expert. But he's a big movie guy too, so we had a lot to talk about. It's a fun show. I recommend people listen to it. It's one of those shows where, if an episode pops up and you're not interested in that, you can skip that one and just go to one that you do like. That's what I like about his show is that, maybe you don't care about your people's favorite ice cream flavors, but you want to know about their favorite movie trilogies. Yeah. Bracketologist is good for that. So we had a good time. We probably made a lot of people mad because there were some serious upsets in there. Like,
were there upsets that just
Lord of the Rings died early.
Anyway? Yeah.
Lord of the Rings died early. I really wanted to put Scream over The Godfather, but he vetoed me on that one. Yeah, I'm sorry, Andrew. Neither of us liked The Lord of the Rings. It was great. You know how hard it is for me to find someone to talk about who doesn't like Lord of the Rings?
It's got to be very
Eric knows how hard it is.
Yep. Living on a rock. Out in the middle of the ocean. All by myself.
So go check out that show, Bracketologist. It's streaming everywhere podcasts are, everywhere we are. And check out our Instagram page, So Many Sequels, and we've got posts about it tagged in there, so you can find them there too. But it was a lot of fun. It was a fun show. We should steal that idea and do some brackets every now and then.
Yeah, sounds fun.
Yeah. We'll throw him a shout out every time or something.
I got nothing else, friends.
That's all I got to promote.
I'm good.
Yeah, I haven't been on any podcasts lately.
That's only the second podcast I think I've ever done. That's not our podcast. Because we all did not Landry. Was it Landry's podcast?
No, it was
Hilton's.
Opinions Like A-Holes.
We did, yeah, Garrett and I did Opinions Like A-Holes back when we were doing the Wayback Flashback. And I think that's it.
Yeah.
Come on, other podcasters, have us on. We're fun.
Yeah. Yeah, we're fun guys. We're mushrooms.
Exactly.
Oh my God, let's wrap this up. I'm done.
Yeah, I'm tired of sitting.
Yeah. As if 2020 wasn't bad enough, we've gone long as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess this was just a bonus episode anyway. If you didn't want to listen to it all, you didn't have to.
You did this to yourself. Well, you did this to yourself.
You know what you can do is go to our Facebook page and let us know your top movies of the year.
Yeah, please do.
But don't let us know what you thought of this episode. We don't care. Yeah, we would like to know your top movies. Maybe we'll do a post about that when this episode drops. I asked everyone on our Facebook page the other day what was the last movie they watched. We got a lot of good answers there. Some fun people are watching some fun movies while they're stuck inside their homes. So that's been, we all have movies at least.
Yes, we have entertainment.
So you can find us online on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So Many Sequels on all of those. Letterboxd, we've got an account there. And of course, you can subscribe to our podcast or YouTube channel for more of this exact kind of thing. We're in the middle of Star Trek right now. We have, oh yeah, I had to think about it. We know what we're doing next. I won't tell you yet because that hasn't dropped yet, but I will say, I think it's going to be good.
Yeah.
I think we'll enjoy ourselves.
I think it's going to be good. So, yeah. We're getting close to the end of this year. Ish.
Yep. We're about halfway through the halfway point.
Yeah, hopefully soon we can all meet in theaters again someday. Probably spaced 2 to 3 seats apart, but nonetheless, in a theater.
We'll be there.
All right. Yep. I guess it. Bye, I guess. The end. Until next time.
See y'all soon. We'll see y'all.
Good one.